gonna give you guys a breakdown of all my stands that I use. That's another huge request, and just almost every video has at least like 3 comments about the stands, and that's also on Instagram. So I'm gonna go ahead and break down each type of stand that I use and how I use them, meaning like what characters do I usually go, or do I use these stands with. So we'll go ahead and just start the breakdown and get into the video. So the first ones we're gonna look at would be the Temu stands that I got from the Temu haul. I'm not sure if that video's up by now. If not, you'll see these in the Temu video. These are great. I thought they would be super cheap and not be able to hold the weight of anything at all, but they do. They're easy to find, relatively cheap, and you can get a ton of them. These are pretty good. Again, the only issue is the height. Sometimes it's harder to get figures up higher, but they're holding normal size figures. So you got, this is obviously a Mayfex Spider-Man, and then you got Marvel Legends being held up pretty well. So yeah, this is a nice common stand that you can use, a cheap option, and go find the Temu video, and I think if you use the link there, you'll be able to get this really cheap as well. So this is something I would, these are just easy stands to get, and the biggest takeaway, like I said, is just there's only so high you can get them, right? So this will work to a certain extent, and I would have a lot of these, but if you want to have figures even higher up, like I wouldn't have a flying character necessarily at this height. This is more of like a jumping height. So anyway, yeah, that's what these are typically used for in my displays. And we'll go ahead and move on to the next one. And here's the next stand we're going to be taking a look at, and this one is the stands that come with the Revoltech figures. These are my least favorite just because of the nature of the actual part that holds the figure itself, which would be this, and it doesn't want to focus very well. All right, so they just port in each piece and they come out really easy, which is what I was facing when I was trying to put him in the stand. So that's balanced pretty well. So it's not very durable, which is another issue. And again, you have this similar, here's a Temu one. We'll see, like the height is basically the same. So same purpose, right, as these guys, but a bit more challenging to actually use. So I'll move this out of the way. But you can see it works, but these are usually my last resort stands that I'll use. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next one. We have probably my favorite stands of this type, which would be the stands that come with the Mayfex. Now, the reason why I like these is not only is it the most sturdy and reliable, but you have the ability to tighten the clamps themselves. And as you can see, they're holding up, and I use these for very important characters that are at the jumping level that I want very sturdy, or heavier set Marvel Legends that don't have a ton going on. So he's obviously a thicker, heavier figure, which means I will use need to use this kind of a sturdier base than maybe the Revoltech or these. So the way you tighten them is you just get a screw. Let's see, there we go. All right, and then you just tighten it. And you can tighten all the joints, of course, on all of these, except for the ones that don't actually have the screw on the head. So having toppers like this that you can tighten means that you'll be able to do stuff like this. Yeah, that's just an example. You could do Beast, although he's a little bit heavier than this. So I typically would just stick with something smaller. This is pushing it, but I just want to show, like, I couldn't do this with these other stands. So yeah, that's again why this is my favorite of these types. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next. My favorite official stand, which is the Mesco stands. And these are by far the best in the industry. They are super strong and they're super tall. I usually use them for flying characters, my favorite flying characters in a display, or a very heavier set figure. This is a Marvel Legends Red Hulk, and it is holding him up. It does take some working with. It may fall over in this video, But if you command strip it to the ground and you got this positioned right, I mean, you could do it. And he's leaping up pretty tall up in the air. You can see him compared to some of these other figures that are on stands as well. He's on this rotating base, of course, so he's a bit more elevated. Nonetheless, I don't see a lot of people having these big figures up on stands, but you can do it with the Mesco. And I think that's just really, really wonderful to be able to have that option. And I'll show you also another huge figure that is utilizing these Mesco stands and why it's easily my favorite. And they don't work just with the big figures. They clamp onto thin figures just alike. So I'll show you how I'm utilizing some of these in my other displays as well. Got my Spider-Man in this display utilizing the stand. I've command stripped it to the wall using the Temu stands, Temu strips, Velcro strips, and they held it up really well. And I have Spider-Man, and I'll switch him out for my Mayfix or whatever Spider-Man I'm feeling to have in the main display to switch it up so it's sticking out and it's like a very reliable stand that I know I can count on. Then over here, I have Carol Danvers utilizing the stand. Like I said, it clamps onto thin figures and big figures alike. Thor is being utilized there on the ground. It's the Fantastic Four one, and he's being held up. Again, very important figures that are integral to a display. And so we'll go and show one last glimpse of how I'm using this Mesco stands. Yes, we're using it for the Masterpiece or Magic Squares Light of Peace Optimus Prime. He is just using the stand like so. It's just balance and making sure that the figure feels good, and that is so cool. I mean, you can't do that with any other stands in the industry that I'm aware of, at least. So yeah, that brings us to probably everybody's most anticipated part of this video, which we'll get right into. So we're looking at my custom-made hanger stands now, and these are the most common stands that you'll see used in my videos. I use them in every single display at least 3 times. I mean, anytime I need a stand, my typical go-to are these. They are pretty sturdy, and I haven't had to buy the materials for them. I've been pretty lucky. My grandpa gets his shirts dry cleaned, and so I'll take these all out of once he gets his clothes back and get huge amounts. So I'll show you how I make them first, but just looking at how they can be used. Now, so we'll start over here. Sometimes you might need a, just to help reinforce a pose that wouldn't be able to stand on his own, and you'll see how it's placed in there. Now, question I'll get asked, does this damage the figure? I mean, it'll scratch up the inside probably. I have not seen any tear on my figures on the outside, and I'm pretty gentle and I care about that kind of stuff. So that's one way. Another reason here would be if it can't support the figures like pose in a way that just won't necessarily work because the feet won't do it. Again, this is another use, and you cut them down to the size you need. Again, I stick them right in the holes. There's a lot of places you can port them if you're creative enough. So there's another version. And here she's a Warbird or Captain Marvel, and she's just hovering. You can have her flying outward. I mean, basically in all my videos that you see these stands, just go look at any of them. You'll see how they're being used. But I chose to stick this under her hair just to show the different way. Typically, I'll put them in the thigh gap, which is the most common way I do it, demonstrated by these two. So now that you see, I mean, the possibilities are really endless with these, and the materials are, as far as I'm aware, you can probably buy metal hangers on Amazon. But for now, we'll go and show you how to make them. So let's get into that. All right, so to make these, we have our metal hangers. Okay, I've actually showcased this in another video, but I'm dedicating a whole video, which means I will not be answering this question in my posts on Instagram or on YouTube. So, metal hangers, right? I get these from a dry cleaning service. I'm sure you can find them on Amazon. I haven't looked because I haven't needed to, but you can find just about anything on Amazon. So, you have your hanger. This is already really straight. I'm going to take these, which, by the way, if you are, like, I don't know, below 18, I guess, have a parent supervision. I feel like I have to say that. These like wire cutters, I've messed mine up because I've been cutting them up, and I know these are not designed to do this, but they work. So I take these cutters, stick them in the corner. If you really want tall ones, you try to keep as much as you can. Okay, boom. Wear protective eye gear, right? You don't want this stuff popping you in the eye. Yeah, be safe. And get the side. All right. You can, of course, keep these and make smaller ones out of these. I just typically don't, but now we have this stand itself. All right. Now, I have this candle. You want something solid that's really round. So we're going to use this. And I'm going to take my stand. We need to make the base, right? And you want it to be perfectly smooth. So I'll bend it around like this. There, it's pretty good. And then I like to make sure it's flat. You just kind of continue to bend inward, right? All right, so this isn't an exact science. All my stands look different. And then I'll push this flat. You want this to make sure that this rests flat. And then you push down like this. And voila, a stand. Now, to get a figure on it, we're gonna have a flyer. So let me go grab a flying figure and we'll put it on there because that's pretty dynamic. I will say all Mafex figures fit on these so well. Like they are the easiest to get on these stands. Some of the newer female Marvel Legends are a little bit more difficult just because their thigh gaps and the gaps on the figure itself are very thin or much more thin than they used to be. So that's just something to keep in mind. But let me be right back and grab a flying figure to put on. So I grabbed two figures. Captain Marvel, he's a thinner guy. It'll be pretty easy to get on the stand, and a heavier figure, which is Thor from the Ragnarok 2-pack. And this is I got him out because I just want to show that like it can hold up bigger figures. It just takes some working with to get. So you just got to be patient and you learn by trial and error, which I've done. The amount of times I've had stands fall on me. I mean, you just got to learn. I mean, it's more of an art than a science. So just keep that in mind. So we'll start with the easy one to get that out of the way because I might end up having to do a time lapse for him. Now you see, I like to check the back where there's some type of gap. So there's more of a gap on this leg. It's pretty even. I also like to see if the hips drop down enough for some space. It means I can likely stick it up in there. Ooh, yep, pretty good. Let's see how my stand came out. All right, so it's like leaning back. Whichever way it leans, then you take this and you kind of push in the opposite direction in which it's leaning. So it's like leans back, so then I push forward. You want to make sure the figure's staying in the same spot. He's really locked in, so this will be good once you kind of got to listen to the stand. There. All right, we're almost there. I can feel it's not so obvious anymore. Okay. Boom. Congratulations, you got a figure flying straight out now. Pretty cool, and it looks really nice. You can really angle them any way you want. Very versatile. I was thinking about selling these, right? Making some of my own and then just selling them in packs of like, 10 for 10. You know what I mean? Doing something like that. Let me know if you'd be interested in buying them. And if you really are, let me know. Leave your email in the description and I'll reach out to you via email and we can start working something out. So anyway, we'll try Thor. Let's see. Is he going to be able to be flying? Let me just check here. Yeah, I guess technically. Whoa, he's almost working right away. Whoops. Yeah, you guys are going to have to sit through the pain of this because just get used to it. Because it's a learning process. So let's put him in a bit more of a dynamic-ish. Okay. Oops. Because I don't want to be doing the easy stuff when you guys are trying to, put them in real poses here. Now this might damage the figure a little bit. Yeah, I'm scuffing it up a little bit here on the leg joint, but I really don't care about this guy. Not like that. Like, he's not my Thor, like my go-to Thor. All right, there we go. So you can stick it, again, I'm showing it in this way just because I've done it in the, actually, we're gonna switch over here because I'm already playing with fire by choosing a heavier figure. Okay, not so bad. And apologize for the crummy pose, but I'm not really trying to spend time on the pose itself. I just want to show the functionality of the stand itself. So again, we're working with the stand some more. I'm not going to speed through this because, well, almost there actually. Again, just keep remembering I am working in the opposite direction in which it's falling, and you can just, it's just really a feel. You got to feel it, and you'll be like, okay, so it's leaning that way. Try bending it at different parts, different like heights. So if I'm bending, I might bend it up here. I might actually bend the whole rod. Just, you got to experiment. It's just do little movements, and you'll feel where the tipping is occurring. So these are basically all my tips that I got. All right, so I got it. And the reason why I edited and clipped it, because it was just taking too long. I think it doubled the video length. So it was like another 9-minute clip. And I was like, okay, that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to show, hey, look, heavy figure sitting on thin stand. It is possible. What I ended up doing was just actually adjusting the base and just squishing it together a little bit to centralize, I guess, where the pressure sits. So pretty sturdy. They don't give out that easily. So there we go. Evidence. So hopefully this video is informative. I really wanted to get this out for quite some time because I feel like this would help the community. If you're interested in purchasing these, you don't need to do anything but comment. Actually, if you want, you can DM me on Instagram. The link of that is in the bio. I was going to say drop your email, but I don't want you guys dropping your personal information like that in my videos. So just let me know. So just hit me with like, I'm interested on this video, and I just need a way to contact you so we can discuss if serious. We'll talk pricing and stuff like that. I'm open. If you want me to make these like a pack or something. To show you guys also how many I have in all the different heights, right? I think one of the craziest ones is look like how high up I got cloak, right? I mean, this, almost all of these are just the hanger stands. Well, kind of. Well, you get the picture. I still find it to be pretty impressive, right? So yeah, that's what I just wanted to show. I thought that how tall this was and such like that, you know. So get back to the video. So yeah, I hope this was informative. We got these ones over here again. Hulk, that's crazy. I don't see this on YouTube very often. A bunch of different stands here. So I'm gonna move this and see if I can move this over here. What do we think? No. Ooh, I'm gonna try. All right, well, anyway, that's gonna wrap the video up, guys. Let me know if this was, if you guys appreciated these videos in the comments below. Stay tuned, still cranking out videos, got a lot of stuff coming. So as always, thanks for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Keep doing cool stuff with your toys.